Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, I would say good movies to bad movies are probably 1 in 10. And I still will never understand why there's not more and more true history stories. And my favorite are stories that I've never heard of that are true history stories. Last night, I watched the movie The Good Traitor. And I recommend it to you with 5 stars. The Good Traitor, T-R-A-I-T-R, like traitor of your country, is a story about Henrik Kauffmann, who was the Danish ambassador to Washington in 1939 when World War II began. After the Nazis invaded and took over Denmark, the king and the government of Denmark capitulated to the Nazis and did not resist. While an ambassador to the United States from Denmark, Kauffmann did not do what his king and country asked him to do. He resisted. He declared himself basically a leader of the free Denmark. It is the most fascinating story, because let me tell you what happens. He's trying to do all he can to help Denmark. And this is what he ends up doing. You can't make this up. Remember when Donald Trump said that he wanted to buy Greenland from Denmark, and that was this big scoffo about, what was he thinking about? Well, this has been going on for years. But here's the story I did not know. They cut off Kauffmann. They recalled him. He refused to go. They cut off his funding. Denmark had their gold reserves sitting in New York City. He made a deal with FDR. And by the way, Kauffmann's wife was the daughter of a Navy Rear Admiral and was friends with FDR. So his wife played a big part in this. They convinced FDR to help them stay in the United States. He signs a deal for part of Greenland for an Air Force base for the United States on Greenland, because Denmark owned Greenland. The United States used that base during World War II. It was critical for planes to fly from the United States to Greenland, refuel, head on to Europe. It was critically important. Guess what happens? World War II ends. Denmark tries to get out of that deal with the United States. They fail. And to this day, the United States has an Air Force base in Greenland. My father-in-law, actually during the Korean War, served there. Fascinating. To this day, the United States still has that Air Force base in Greenland. And old Kauffmann ended up becoming the ambassador all the way up till 1958 to the United States. He actually signed when they formed the United Nations, 45 or 46, and also NATO. And you know what he said? He said, if we form a pact with the United States, we'll never be invaded again. So far, so good. Under Biden, who the hell knows? But isn't that a fascinating story? A story I never knew. It explains how we got a military base in Greenland that proved vital during World War II, and we still have that base today. He went rogue. He did the right thing. That's why the movie was called The Good Traitor. I love when people do the right thing no matter what the consequences. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day, and that's been your history moment for today.